and subscribe.
Holding on together.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Angry Ops Guy podcast. Ops Mike here. Last episode, we had an in-depth chat with Jack Porter-Smith, but knowing me and Jack, we talked forever. So we figured we'd cut it into 2 episodes, and here's part 2. Enjoy.
So, Jackie boy, I'd like to give you a moment because, again, a lot of people that love you, have been trying to monitor your health updates and, what's going on and stuff. And you had a tremendous kind of rapport with the WSI network and other people. Like, when you had to announce that you had to step away, people were really distraught. And I know you had a tremendous outpouring of people just in your corner saying, like, let's get you back. But tell us what you're doing now, proportionately, and where your focus is and things like that, because, I feel important to also kind of give you the medium to share that, knowing that you're now focusing more on the consulting side of things, that allows your time and efforts to be more aligned with the Jack now versus the agency Jack before.
I appreciate that. Well, I think to give a bit of context to whoever, doesn't really know me or my story, obviously I ran the agency for 12 years. Then I told, all you guys in March 24, I just need a few months off because I have fairly severe Crohn's disease, right? And then unfortunately, like, I was hospitalized and it just dragged on longer and longer and longer. And by the end of the year, I just had a conversation with Dan and Val, who I am eternally grateful to, my co-founders, that this game of kind of what's happening, when's he coming back, what role will he be in, it wasn't good for anyone. There's an interim MD, there's clients asking questions every week, there's other staff trying to step up and, fill shoes, but it wasn't fair on anyone for the best part of a year, right? So that's when we made the decision to transfer my shares to Dan and Val, and for me to essentially retire from the agency game. And it's been important to me to take as long as I need to get better in this whole thing. And I'm still pretty much in that phase. I'm not, thankfully, in any rush to go back to work. I don't need to. But I've begun dipping my toes in the water because obviously a year and a half out of doing anything, especially at my age, I'm only 35, it gives you time to reflect on, like, what would career 2.0 be? And what do I really want to do? Because I think you have to be careful not to slip, trip, and fall into something that just seems logical, out of almost, autopilot. And something we haven't touched on at all, which I am shocked and aghast at, is EOS by Gino Wickman, right, from his Traction book. I'm sure that'll be another episode if
let's certainly say that, because you were one of the people that I looked up to help when I was struggling at the beginning, getting some of those things in place, because you were more advanced into it. So yeah, we haven't really we've always scratched surface on that, but I would love you to come back on it. I did one with Christina about data. We just scratched the surface, but I was always so in admiration of your VTO process and your L10 process. I think you had really strong hooks into that. So on that note, not to steal your thunder where you're going with this, but like, we're going to have you back on for that, because that's one area I think you mastered as far as you could take it for what it needed to be.
Yeah, and credit to Val for that. She's the one who first told me to read Traction when I was a bit lost, I think in 2017.
Really?
Because after 4 years, like, the agency, I was winging it, right? I didn't have a budget or a business plan, or I didn't know what a financial statement was. I didn't have a 10-year vision, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, another episode. But the point is, running EOS from Traction became a real passion of mine. I realized the thing I enjoyed most about running the agency the last few years was flying to Toronto for what I call Traction Week, right? And I would have like 4 or 5 days of all-day meetings with all my different departments and my board, take the team out for dinner, do a off-site day, 360, yada, yada. that's what I lived for. I just loved it. What I realized is I could kind of be the EOS helper or leader of those meetings and system, but for other agencies, and therefore not carry any of the stress or responsibility for implementation. So I'm not going as far as officially identifying as an EOS coach or implementer, because I think there's a whole bunch of the system that is just not necessary for agencies. It's kind of overkill. It's more meant for like manufacturing firms with 300 employees. And I love talking, as you can probably tell from this session. I love helping and educating. So when I'm fully better, I will launch my advisory. The advisory, and to me, advisory is a really important word. I don't identify as a coach or a mentor or consultant, because I'm literally just giving you my advice. I'm not in your business. I don't have skin in the game. And that's by design, because I need to protect my health going forward. However, there is obviously a ceiling on that, to do it properly, with like weekly sessions and yada, yada. I'll probably only work with like 5 agencies. Anyway, the relevance of that ceiling is it has prompted me to come up with a second kind of linked business, which actually I've never told anyone. You're hearing it here first. And I'm not going to name it or talk about dates, but I will launch a form of a community, because I think there will be hopefully more than 5 people that would like to work with me, and each other as peer support. So yeah, when the time is right, I will also launch the community so that I can help, maybe 100 people, as well as the 5 I'm working with one-to-one. And respectfully as well, there may just be a segment of agency world that couldn't necessarily afford, my one-to-one engagement, but they could afford, $100 a month for group engagement. So that's what I will be doing. I've accidentally launched it with 1 and then 2 clients. Accidentally, in a sense, I was kind of doing a favor to someone, and then they recommended me to a second one. And I said to my therapist, like, aren't I supposed to be on a health break? Like, should I accept them? Should I tell them to go away? And she just said, well, like, how did you feel when you finished a session with him, the first one? And I was like, great, I missed that buzz. Because I think there's like a pizza of fulfillment, right? And some of that is spiritual, some of that is from your relationship, some of it is from physical exercise, some of it's from eating, but ultimately some of your fulfillment comes from work. It's not your identity, but that buzz after a good session, a good day at the office, whatever. So I've missed that badly, really badly.
Yeah.
And I've really enjoyed
it's like a drug, eh?
Yeah, it is. And it again, you don't align your whole self-identity to it, but it does help you feel valuable and useful and helpful.
Well, you said that earlier about me. You said, what did that speaking engagement do for me? And I fumbled this response out, but exactly what you just said is that validation internally that I'm making a difference. I'm helping. Look, you and I, we are customer centric. We are peer centric. We are somehow, some way wired to help people. That's why I think everybody buys a franchise, or everybody wants to be an agency life is, and we put humor into the ops hell of what, fulfillment can be, but it's the real drug, or the dopamine hit, or whatever you want to call it, is knowing that you're helping someone, or that person says, my God, Jack, thank you for this hour. It's going to change. And now the results are showing and the numbers are showing, and you're sitting there going, it's purpose where purpose needs to be. And you have so much to give still. And I'm glad that you are finding an alternative and new medium that will align with the Jack today versus the Jack of 5 years ago. And that's important, right? Because you would not be able to do what you're doing now, no matter health. But you wouldn't be able to do it unless you went through those battles, you went through the trenches, you went through it, because you can take all that practical experience and pain and now tie it around to help people, because that's really what experience is. And that's why people buy advisory is, like you said, you're not an expert in anything. You're not a master in anything, but you have real experience on how to guide people and share and help them avoid the same challenges that you faced and you were able to navigate.
I mean, that last part, Mike, that's really my main motivation. Like my sort of tagline in progress, is, because again, I haven't launched it, like you won't find it anywhere. my tagline in progress is helping agency leaders add a zero to revenue profitably without sacrificing their health.
Nice.
Right. And those last few words, that to me, obviously I forked that one up royally. I know that. But I've also had like the best part of 2 years to think about that and reflect, what did I get wrong? And because you see so many founders just buried and leaders buried and burning
Especially
out.
in small to medium-sized business.
It's the hardest.
All just overwhelmed.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. If you're an exec in like a bloody publicly traded agency, you've got the life of Riley. Like you don't actually have any stress. It's the ones in the trenches with 5 staff, 10 staff, 20 staff. And that I feel that's just my new mission, is to help, whether it's 5, 50, 100 agency leaders, add that zero, right? Break through that glass ceiling, have fun, but not kill themselves. I feel equipped to guide them through that journey with some advice and stories. And I feel that's my professional mission. It's not my life mission. My life mission is to be a good dad and a good husband and, all that stuff, and get my handicap down. But that's going to be my professional mission. And to answer something you said earlier, one of my goals, like, when you're in the abyss, you need things on the horizon. You need, like, I'm going to do this. And one of them is to get back to a WSI event somehow, someday. Because here's the thing. I know it sounds like self-centric. I never got my goodbye. Like I literally just was really unwell. I thought it was 2 months off. I then got hospitalized and everything went to shit. And then I was just out. Yeah. I was even out of my emails. I was out of Facebook Workplace. Like I had no way to. Yeah. I didn't get my leaving drinks. It's like
one night you packed up and then you're gone, kind of.
Yeah, I just sort of disappeared in the night, and I still feel I haven't closed that loop yet. So, if they will have me, one of my goals.
You hear that, convention committee? Do you hear that, Valerie? I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it is whenever the time is right, whenever the place is right, whenever the topic is right, we got to get Jackie Boy back. I don't care.
I would love to say goodbye properly.
Put both of us up on stage, and
it would collapse. It would collapse. We both know it would.
Yeah. Hey, convention committee, is the stage reinforced with titanium? Because we got a heavy load going to be standing on this puppy for an hour. We're going to get you that proper goodbye one. And everybody that does listen, that's why if you listen to my stupid op songs and other shit I do, if you said, why is Jackie Boy in all of these? It's not just to go at Jack. I do it because I was trying to make him laugh while he was in a hospital bed. I could not talk to him. He was using a private chat that was basically, I can't take messages from people and be flooded and bombarded. So I'm like, how do I get something to him that only he can? I say, Jackie Boy, I put you in this one. We're just trying to get him to laugh. But the key for me is I wanted Jackie Boy to stay relevant because I knew that he didn't exit on the terms he wanted. He was forced based on health. So I told you this personally. I'm going to tell you this professionally. I'm going to tell you on this stupid podcast. My mission is to make sure that, you are always a component of WSI, no matter what that means moving forward, because you are important to me and you are important to so many people. And some of the best years of my career have been working hand in hand with you. And some of the shit we did, we did some stuff that, again, another podcast, another time, but we did some really impressive stuff together that challenged us in being operational people, but knowing that, we could do big scale marketing. And I'm very proud of those years and wish that, with circumstance and other things, that we were still doing it hand in hand, buddy. Because I miss those days. Talking to you every day, even if it was just navigating big clients, was a lot of fun because, like you said, I always knew that I'm having those moments of complete head down, I can't do this, and go, come on, buddy, I got you. And that's, again, going back to that, that's the thing, is knowing that support, that network and your peers are what drive you to know that you're as good as you don't know you are. So
yeah,
I'm going to get you back one way or another. Otherwise, I'm going to leave Miss at home and you're going to come to convention with me next year.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, just hire me as like a junior analyst and bring me a staff. But no, in
You
seriousness,
imagine
first
we're at
of
the
all,
convention, everybody's in the pool, and just no. Jack just comes walking. What the fuck? He bought his own ticket. He bought his
bringing you
own
your
ticket,
tea.
and he just
Yeah.
showed up.
I wish. But hey, first of all, same back to you. And second of all, it reminds me of a funny story, one closing funny story about you. Just when you brought up the ending there. So if anyone doesn't know, I spent January until March in hospital this year in high dependency. And like Mike said, I was dark through much of that. For much of it, I didn't even have my phone. I had a drip in my neck with 8 different drugs, ketamine, morphine, tramadol, all sorts of things. So I was like incognito. I could barely send a one-liner to my wife when she wasn't by my bedside. But I'll never forget the day I got admitted, right? So it was like the 15th of January or something like that this year. I got admitted, and I think somehow you knew, Mike. I don't know how you knew. If I told you or Heidi told you, someone told you. So I'm
Probably
sitting there, right?
Probably Heidi.
So the way it works, right? You go to A&E, right? So accident and emergency, we call it here. They then send you up to surgical assessment ward. And surgical assessment decides where to send you. You know, do you need surgery today? Should you go on a ward for medicine with a week before surgery? Whatever. So I'm lying on this table, right? And in extreme pain. I'm just being given my first cups of morphine. This nurse had just been in and stuck his fingers up my ass because it's Crohn's disease. And by the way, that's a side note.
I didn't know where that was going, but I just spit over my microphone.
I saw, right? So in triage, there's like 9 steps in hospital before you meet the surgeon consultant, who's ultimately going to be the one opening you up, chopping things out, putting you back together. Okay. Every single one of those steps, they stick their finger up your ass. It's like, come on, like you're like a junior assistant nurse or whatever you are. There's no need for this.
Why are you surprised? You worked at WSI for over 10 years. That's normal daily event.
Yeah, I was used to being invaded, but listen. So this guy, you know, taking my symptoms, I'm like, I've already told the other nurse this 3 times, and she's already rammed me up the arse. But whatever, go ahead. So I'm then like lying on my back, sort of shaking like a victim, crying in pain. And then my phone pings, right? My mum brought me because Lisa had to stay home with Harrison. My phone pings, and like, you know, not to pester me as well. Like everyone knows, everyone who's close to me, I have like an edict: leave me the fuck alone if I'm struggling. Like if I'm you know, unwell at home or in hospital, I do not need 30 people asking me every day if I'm better yet, right? You know that. So I'm like, this motherfucker has just broken my policy. I've just been like finger banged up the ass, and now I get like a fucking voice note from him. But I was like in this waiting period of, okay, that person had just gone out with a test sample, whatever. So I play it. And I was like, hey, Jack, you know, just thinking about you, buddy. Like, hope you're well, yada, yada. From you. If I haven't made that clear, it's from Mike. And then he goes, oh, hey, I had an idea too. Like, while you're there, why don't you see if he could give you a penis enhancement?
That's right. Yeah, I know. You're literally on like, that's bad. You're in on
my
and
God.
I just come at you.
Oh man, and I tell you what, I was in a dark place, and that really did give me a chuckle, you know, and it lifted my spirits for the rest of that day. And
I forgot about that.
I didn't.
Because I sit there with anybody and I'm like, if I'm comfortable with you, and also if I'm not comfortable with you, I'll say something inappropriate. Like THO has got me on the blacklist because they know that like there's no muzzle on me, but like I do it to get a reaction. But in that moment, now that I remember it, it was, he doesn't want me to talk to him. I'm worried about him. Like again, and that period where you had to go dark, and you and Lisa were so great in that group chat of sharing what was important. And without that, I would have been spiraling. I know Heidi would have been as well because we care about you as much as we do. But I was sitting there in my little twisted mind, just going like, I think I could still rile him up. Why not? Like, because laughter is healing. And even like you said, if you're in your darkest moment saying, I don't know if I'm going to get through this, if I got you to chuckle, even if it hurt, then I did my job, because that's the way I tell you I love you. But yeah, let's get it appropriate as possible. I hope you shared that with Lisa.
I don't think I did. Hey, I've literally just found it.
I am so
Oh,
I just found
no.
it. That's it. 17th of January. You can see that voice note there.
Yeah.
That'll be it. I won't play it because I don't know
Please
what else he
don't.
said in it. But when this finishes, I'm going to play it for sure to relive
Oh
that.
my God. Forward that to me again so I can laugh privately. But yeah, that's what I would do. A guy's having such a bad time, and I'm like, oh, you're getting surgery anyways. Why don't you get a penis enhancement while you're at it? And
Oh,
that's
man.
why this is not safe for work.
No. Well, listen, that was funny. And I just, again, wanted to show the world you are a very funny guy, but also very caring, sweet guy, really.
Well, buddy,
You try and be a prickly beast. So you think you're this prickly, scary beast. You're actually an enormous softie.
I don't even know why everybody thinks I'm a prickly beast. I just give that look of miserable bear.
Oh, well, it's just because you have your hit.
I got on a mastermind yesterday with Denise, and she gets on. She goes, "Oh, look, there's cheerful Mike." I'm like, "Good morning, Denise. How are you?" Like she's like, "Here comes Krusty Pants."
Well, listen, I think everyone, who's crossed paths with you, they would say you're prone to a hissy fit or two. But hey, that's the thing, right? As much as we've joked as well, I think, when two agency leaders are working together, two agencies are working together, whatever, you and I, sometimes we have had to sit down and just give each other an absolute bollocking.
And we have.
Yeah, we have.
We'll talk about that in another episode. But
Yeah.
I remember one story that I think will be very important to people. I won't share anything here, but there's one. But yeah, we are friends. We are best buddies. We are colleagues. We are business partners. All those different things. But we've had it out, you and I, a couple of times. But what never occurred in those moments of frustration was the loss of respect. We
Correct.
found a way to get it out. But now here's what's got to be said. And we were mature enough to be able to find a way, because we knew what the common goal was ultimately we just wanted to make things better. But the respect was there between us, saying, as long as we are not doing this, then I'm butting heads, then we can find a better path. And we did. But that was some of the growing pains, usually because I'm an asshole and you're like, Mike, I make way more money than you do, and I don't need your stupid shit at 7:00 at night Eastern time. So I'm gonna look, we've been talking forever. I want to end up on one more funny story because I love you, and then I'm going to let you plug your where people can find you and everything else, and then let's get out of here because you got someone that you got to go pick up from daycare, and I got some work to do. So the last story is, this is a tip for anybody listening: don't have Skype, WhatsApp, or any type of instant messenger available. Why are you muting yourself?
I know where you're going with this.
Yes.
I didn't know where you were going to go. So
good.
I don't want to interrupt.
First off, I'm going to give you the lesson, and then I'm going to give you the story, and then Jack will finish with his reflections of what happened. So me and Jackie Boy are on a very important weekly call where we are controlling and utilizing a tremendous amount of ad spend, a tremendous amount. And obviously, when you're working with that type of money, you have to justify where the dollars are going and the conversions almost daily. It is not like, let's check in once a month. It's, you're on your toes every week. So Jack and his team at this time would always have a tremendous deck prepared, and he was, and they put it together and he would roll through. It was always very, very impressive and very hard to do every week because, again, how much can you get done in 3 or 4 days then to try to report more? So I was in a mood that day. Jack was doing his thing, and again, similar to being sick and let's be unprofessional, he's going off and he's talking, and he's using his hands and whatever else, and I'm sitting quietly waiting for my part at the end, and I'm like, maybe he's got his Skype on, and at the time Skype was still around. And
that makes us sound all day.
Oh, no kidding.
We mean Slack. It was Slack. Mike, just say it was Slack.
We used to look at HTML for dummies on how to code. So Jackie Boy here, he is knee deep in talking about ROAS. I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars of spend. This, whatever else. And I'm sitting there typing, saying, I hope he can see his other screen. And the message I sent him was, God, you're sexy. I wish I could grab both of your ass cheeks right now. And I'm just waiting. I'm waiting to see if it's going to buzz in his ear or whether, and all you see is Jack's eyes move on camera. He's like, $100,000 towards this, a ROAS of, 4 point note of this, and we're going to do this, and we have to optimize that, and we're going to pull this budget. And he looks down and he completely loses his train of thought. And then
take it over, because the best part is then the screen goes dark. Like Jack's mid conversation, and then it's like mute off. And it's like, and then the people on the call like, oh, it looks like we lost Jack. Might be a connection issue. Take it over.
Well, I think you can imagine what happened next. And first of all, I want to say,
So inappropriate.
I finally got you. You've fallen into my trap. You have sexually harassed me for like 11 years, and now we have podcast evidence. So that, I'll be filing that later.
Okay.
So it again, lesson. This is a serious podcast about agency leadership.
No.
Well, I'm making it. I'm coming in here to raise the tone.
Oh, okay.
The lesson is, do not have anything enabled while you're in a meeting.
Anything.
Ever. Slack,
Ever.
fucking your phone should be on Do Not Disturb, because a mic can come along at any time. So he said whatever he said. I think it was actually more rude than what he said a minute ago. And I think context is important. We had the CMO of this like $100+ million. We had the CMO, the sales director, and the managing director / owner, right?
Yeah.
So like 3 incredibly powerful people spending millions of dollars with us. I'm doing my best to like fucking carry Mike as usual. And then, I get a fucking Skype ping in my top right in my corner with that abuse and harassment. And it was just one of those perfectly timed things where there's nothing I could do.
One of my proudest moments.
Yeah, I was gone, man. Like I literally smashed the camera button, threw my AirPods out on the floor, and had to like walk away from my desk, and was literally howling in laughter and like shouting and swearing about Mike. And then I sort of regathered myself and came back, and I can't remember.
Comes back on camera, and he's like, "Sorry, everybody. Sorry, everybody had a connection issue, or had to go to the washroom or whatever." Like, the excuse was so bullshit. Like, everybody knew you can't go to the bathroom that fast, because everybody knows your shed is basically your office. Like, it's away from your house. So no, you didn't piddle that fast. Number 2, you've been perfectly fine for 30 minutes of the meeting, and all of a sudden there's like this blip, and then you come right back. But the best part about it too is they don't know I'm trying to keep it together. Like, I got this little smirk on my face knowing that I got him. And
do you know that was the problem? I want to say that was the problem. It wasn't just the message. It was the second you realized on camera I'd seen it. And then you start going, that's when I lost it, right? And yeah, I lost a lot of respect with that client that day.
And so then on top of that, he goes into the Skype while he's talking to the customer and regrouping, and he's like, "You son of a bitch." He's like, "I completely lost my effing train of thought." And I'm like, "I did my job, period."
Do you know what? I think we should see if we can like somehow get the Skype archives and post it.
No.
There's got to be a way. Is it all gone?
No, they're encrypted for a reason.
No, well, it'd be evidence. I'm pretty sure I actually told you to fuck a goat in response.
It might have been. And by the way, I told you could use 1 or 2 F-bombs, and there was some swearing, but you've turned this into a PG like 18 or whatever versus a PG 13. So.
Well, you've gotten under my skin again, so.
Well, what else?
I need to go and take some blood pressure tablets after this.
Hey, I got mine right here.
He's actually shaking a tube of tablets.
But those are some examples, and you're the right person to share. That's how much. Look, yeah, it's immature boy humor. Yeah, we did not do it to be malicious. Did not do it to disrespect the customer, and nor would we ever. It was those funny examples are like, that's our humor of knowing that we can still remind each other to have fun, knowing the stresses, like we've talked through this entire journey of this episode, of the stresses of what agency life is, operational leadership, and whatever else. And those were moments that stick with me. We still laugh about those years later, because those were the good times of just like, trying to one-up each other and do stupid stuff. And there's more. We're just going to save them for the next episodes. But those are 2 pretty good ones that, oh God, my eyes are watering. I'm laughing so hard.
Yeah, I'm actually sweating because of it. But I will say, again,
because you're obese, even though you've lost a lot of weight.
Oh my goodness. Right.
Anyways,
shut up. Shut up.
I'm not
Stop
here
talking.
Stop talking. I'm not here to ramp you up. Okay, we got to wrap up because you got to go get your kids. So I want you to take the last couple minutes here before I wrap up. I want you to let everybody know about the new book that you're finalizing. Again, I don't even know a lot about it, but I know you focused your energy with your limitations to get back into writing, and now, like you said earlier, now you're into book 3 and 4 rolling out compared to the 2 that I know about. So talk a little bit about that, and if it's out and when it's coming out. And then also, Jack, where can people find you based on who listens to the podcast? If they are not directly connected with you or haven't talked to you in a few years, please, where's the best way for them to connect or follow or whatever else?
Thank you. I did just want to finish that last point by saying it's just a good example of you need friends in this space. We talked about that earlier. It can be dark and boring and stressful. Okay. You can find me on LinkedIn. That is my only social media. So don't go, like 3 listeners, don't go looking for me anywhere else. LinkedIn.com/Jack Porter Smith, all one word, no hyphen. So the 2 books. So as Mike said, I've obviously had a lot of time off work, but I always like to feel productive and have a project to work towards. So the first one I published this year was called 60 Seconds of Glory. And it is essentially the story of my public speaking escapades over about 2 years. And it is the entire sort of start to finish how I went from, the worst speaker in the world to doing the things I've talked about in this podcast and, doubling, tripling my agency to 7-figure net profits a year. So literally everything you can think of is covered. How to fill a room, how to write a keynote, how to deliver your pitch at the end of it, all the technology and stuff going on behind the scenes. But it is written as a story. So hopefully it's not just like a boring manual. It's basically a how-to, but written as a tale. Okay. And then the second book, these are both on Amazon. The second book is called Writing Home. And I don't think you know anything about that, Mike.
I don't. I know about the third one, but I don't know about the fourth one. What's that one about?
Yeah, Writing Home. So again, anyone who doesn't know my background, I grew up in the west of Scotland. My career started in Glasgow at various agencies and a stint client side. And then I ended up in Canada randomly. Again, another story. But the whole premise is I went through a period of detachment with my family. My mum, I'm pretty sure, still thinks I fix like printers. My wife now, girlfriend at the time, I was closed off. Like I would just disappear for a month running around Canada and America. I'd come home. I would be so tired. I'd still be pulling 18-hour days. And then I'm gone again a week later. And I just, on reflection, no one here that cares about me ever knew or saw me, what I was doing. Like I had those I wish you could see me now moments countless times. And I never even kept them up to date at the time. So I wrote the book as letters home, hence Writing Home. So there's 12 letters for 12 years. So 1 letter for each year. It just sort of tells the story of that year, start to finish, the highs, the lows. And in every letter, there is, of course, like some foundational principles of growing an agency, elements of my personal code that I ran my agency to. And then after each letter, there's an author's note to you, right? So you're reading the letter to my parents, and then I write an author's note to you, breaking it down. Like, here's the practical takeaway.
That's a different way of doing it.
Yeah. So, it felt like the right time because that was my unwitting exit. Year 12, letter 12, and it sort of just documents my whole thing start to finish. And
you were saying now that I knew book 3 was out, even though, like you said, you've not necessarily in the limelight like you were previously, but book 4 is also available now.
It is, but here's the funny thing. This is going to sound so egotistical, and it's not meant to. But as I say, I'm genuinely not in a space. I'm still working through health stuff and healing. I genuinely cannot get busy right now with work. So I finished the books and they're on Amazon, but I deliberately, you'll check my LinkedIn, I've not posted about them, I've not told anyone because in case 2 people read them and then want to work with me, I couldn't take them right now. So I'm waiting until I feel ready to actually sort of make a splash and share them and send out advanced copies to friends and influencers. So that's what I've been working on. And again, big thank you to Sarah for helping me with all the creative. And
tell her I say hello whenever you chat with her again. I didn't know you were still in touch with her or whatever, but I always enjoyed working with her, and we had a good laugh about the buffet beast. And I saw her towards the tail end of your tenure at Utopia Ads. I saw her at a networking. We were doing a trade show booth and her in there, and all of a sudden, I'm like, Sarah? And she's like, hey, I'm here looking around what's going on. But like, we had a good laugh. Tell her I say hello, and I miss her. She was one of the good people.
I'm sure she will not return the sentence.
No, she'll be like Buffet Beast. Oh God. Well, everybody, if you are enamored with, even though he's not advertising them and promoting them and so forth, because like I said, work is not the focus. But if you like Jock Southern books, which we all do in the WSI network, and we were gracious to get them when he released them, go take a look for Jack Porter Smith on Amazon and take a look and help fund his wallet.
I gotta say, I make like £4.50 a copy, so
perfect. I make no money off this podcast, and nobody follows it, so who gives a shit?
Well, I'm unemployed.
There you go.
Hey, I'm unemployed. At least you have a wage. I'm an unemployed bum. So actually, yeah. As long as no one expects me to work with them post reading it, please go and buy a copy so I can feed my son.
That's the key thing, guys. Remember, is he's not open for business right now. But if you do like the way Jack writes and want to see the next ideas that come from his mind, book 3 and book 4 available on Amazon with his other 2 that are out. But as we wrap up here, because I looked at the clock, Jackie boy, and can you believe we've been talking for 2 hours, which is nothing new with me and you. When we get together, we chat, but just goes to show you the friends that we are, that time flies when you're having fun, making fun of each other, but still talking op shop. So I want to really thank you for, knowing that you don't do anything public right now. You're really focused on your health and maintaining the right energy levels and what you can put out there for your family, that you were willing to come on and spend some time with me on this. And, all the jokes, all the sarcasm, all the back and forth, but you know how much I love you, and I respect you immensely. I wish you're like one of my songs that I haven't released yet called Help Me. It says, I need Jackie boy beside me. And then I said, he's proud, sweaty, fat. I said, I bitch, he listens, true bromance. And that's another, I don't think I've sent you that one yet, but that sums up what I think about you. And, there will be a time and another place in our journey moving forward where we're going to get back to being a 2-headed monster, and we're going to do some damage when the time is right. But your friendship is the biggest gift that I have gotten out of our career paths at WSI, and I'm very blessed to call you one of my best friends. So thank you so much for coming on, and anything else you wish to share before I wrap up? And don't sit there and compliment me. I'd rather you just slaughter me and we can end it.
No, I love you, buddy. Thank you for having me.
Perfect. All right, everybody. Well, we're Angry Ops Guy. We are on Instagram, YouTube. We are also now on LinkedIn. So Angry Ops Guy _WSI. Also dropping some new funny AI generated songs that basically attack Jack and me and remind each other that we're just children. So go take a look, and we will be back shortly with more guests.